Mic check 1 2. So it might be time for me to finally jump out the window and pick up a PlayStation 5. I think that a lot of the collecting that I wanted to do for Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, and even Gen 7, I've been able to tackle a lot of that. Right now I'm at the point where I'm just taking advantage of a lot of the promotions, the sales, the 4 for 40s, 4 for 20s, buy two get ones, kind of using those deals to round out different parts and aspects of my collection that I wanted to kind of build a little bit with certain games that I've always had like on my wish list. So I'm leveraging those promotions to either buy games that I can flip to build the funds to get the games that I really want, or if I'm lucky enough, I'll just find those games out in the wild at really good prices and just add them into my collection. But I think the PlayStation 5 is starting to grow on me just as I go into different stores and I see the libraries. You know, it's really looking like it may be time within the next 6 to 12 months for me to go down that lane. Now, I've had a lot of success this summer when it comes to the 360. I've never ran into so many 360 games in one time than I did this summer, and it's ironic because the Xbox 360 store did close this year, and we saw a massive spike in 360 game prices, but we are seeing kind of like a contraction there. We're seeing where some of the prices of some of those games are starting to go back down, which is good because some of them were really expensive for no reason. So I don't think we needed all of that. But the PlayStation 3 is definitely having its heyday. Starting to see in general where certain PlayStation 3 games are just kind of moving up in terms of value. I don't know, I should say, if the mass interest is there the way it's been with the 360. There hasn't been that catalyst that's come about yet that's really sparked, panic buying for the PlayStation 3. But I think slowly but surely people have been adding to their PlayStation 3 collections to add the games that they want. And the 360 and the PS3, they were a part of the same generation. So a lot of the heavy hitting games that came out on 360 were also released on PS3. I don't know if either console had a huge number of exclusive games that stayed exclusive, because eventually a lot of these games get remastered, re-released, and put on newer platforms. And so it's just interesting to see where the PlayStation 3 library goes and where people rank it and place it in their own personal collections. And then we have the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4, which is a console that I've talked about on the channel many times in the past, where I felt like at the time, like a couple years ago, I didn't really feel the need. I didn't feel hard pressed to collect for the PlayStation 4, and I felt the same way about the Switch. I felt like there are plenty of Switch games to go around. There are no shortage of any particular Switch game outside of the ones that have been purposely limited by companies like Limited Run, Super Rare, things like that. But for the most part, a lot of the Switch games that we all want are readily available. They're going to be around for some time. So I don't think that that's something that I need to go crazy on. And the thing with this generation of gamers and collectors is that we've been able to see collectively as a whole the impact of keeping your video games sealed, right? Thanks to COVID, a lot of the gamers that were home and had nothing to do, they were home watching TV, they were home watching YouTube, and so they saw the YouTubers definitely impacted the overall perception of collecting. And I think a lot of people are now in a place where they are telling themselves that they need to keep their games sealed. A lot of people have doubled up. If there's a game that they want to play, they buy one and then they hold one for the future. And when a lot of people are doing the same thing, I just don't know what impact it's going to have value wise in the future. You know, if there's 3 million people with sealed copies of Mario 3D All-Stars, how exclusive is that going to be, right? There's going to be a big difference between, you know, like today, if we look at generations 25, 30 years ago, having a sealed copy of Hagane today is really rare because it wasn't something that many people were thinking about or doing back then, right? No one had the knowledge of what the collectibles market would be. People were just doing things to do them, you know, or sometimes people were doing things by mistake when it came to keeping things sealed. Whereas today there's like a collective knowledge, there's a collective notion that, okay, we should keep these things sealed. Let's preserve them. Let's hold them. Let's hoard them. And let's wait 20 years and hope that they're considered rare, but they won't be rare if they, like I said, if there are millions of people who have sealed copies of these games. So what makes seeing a sealed game rare today from 30 years ago is that 30 years ago, everyone, for the most part, most folks bought their games to play them. Video games in general were still somewhat new. Really the big breakout, or the time when games became, you know, very commercially popular, people were buying them to play them. No, not many people were, you know, looking at video games to say, you know, let me keep it sealed and collect them. I'm sure there was that small number of folks who did that, but it's nothing like it is today. So all that being said, I think the notion for today is buy the games that you want to play. And that's what I've been doing when it comes to the Switch and the PS4. You know, I was one of those people who had a bunch of games that, you know, I kind of had that in my mind, like, you know, let me collect this, let me hold on to this. And that kind of changed when it came to this modern day, you know, generation of gaming with the Switch and the PS4 and stuff like that. I've tried to get into the Xbox One so many times, but I don't know what it is. It's just the Xbox One. I can't fully immerse myself into it for whatever reason. I'm not able to get into it. So I think for me, I'm going to wind up selling my Xbox One console altogether. The 360 I'm a fan of. Maybe I might go and get like a Series S. I don't know. The Xbox One console that I currently have was given to me. And a lot of times with some of the games that I want to play on it, you know, you got to do this update and this upgrade and so on and so forth. So I think I may try and go get like a Series S or something like that, one of the smaller versions that will allow me to play games. I feel like the Xbox console I have is really heavy and bulky. Not a huge fan of that, so may go ahead and trade that in. But all of that being said, as I begin to evaluate the collection, you know, and where I'll be towards the end of the year, PS5 is definitely looking like a strong candidate when it comes to Christmas gifts. It might be something that I may get into for sure. I've got a growing box of video games that I need to either sell or trade. So Labor Day is coming up, and I know a lot of my local game stores, they'll do like a Labor Day sale trade type thing. Those are usually the best times to try to go to your local retro game store to get some deals. So I may see what I'm able to squeeze out of that. Also, GameStop is I think their 4 for $40 ends on the 31st. Someone let me know in my community. So that promotion will be ending soon. So gonna see if there's any other deals I can take advantage of. They're about due. GameStop is due to release their buy two get one promo. Usually they do that every quarter, so I think they're just about due for that. So that could be coming any time now, and that's usually the best time to kill their online store and just see what deals you can snag. So there's a few moving pieces for me that I've got my eye on, but a lot of things are going to be settling down pretty much after Labor Day weekend. I know I always say that, and then next thing you know, I run into like 3 copies of like, I don't know, Wolverine Uncaged or something crazy. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think it's, you know, it's definitely past time to get the PS5? Do you think now is a good time to pick it up? Do you think there are enough exclusive games on the PlayStation 5 to make it a worthwhile purchase? I'm interested to know your thoughts. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.